Alrighty, we are back in Enshrouded on this episode of Timber Builds. We're gonna move flame altars, super exciting stuff. But I've been wanting to test how that works. I've seen one video online and did the job, but I haven't really seen anybody moving altars, and we did not properly set this up when I started, so gonna mess with it and figure out how to move them. I sort of did the legwork already, so we really just have to move the altars is really what we're going to be doing tonight. But I calculated everything I could, so I got, this is now going to be 4 altars, one in each corner and then one somewhere in the center wherever I want to move that one. So I want one main one to teleport to at any time, and then 4 that are like hidden that you'll never actually see. So at the end of each one of these are all 19 blocks out. That's including this. So it's technically one block, or one foundation piece. Less than what you're able to do. I just wanted to be absolutely sure that all my pieces were covered. Not that you can't undo them and place others, but it just adds a level of annoying stuff that I didn't want to deal with, and this seems like more than enough space currently. But essentially the only thing is these will all be, the squares that each one make will overlap on this block. So there'll be one block in the center that's redundant if I did the math correct. Which is very possible that I didn't. My monkey brain was struggling to handle and figure it all out. That's why I haven't moved them yet. So, but thought it was time. I'm running out of room as well in this area. I'm already all the way to the back wall, so to keep building, I have to do it. So that's what we're gonna do. I need, yeah. Oh, I still have one to use at any given time. So the goal is just kind of to get them placed. I'm going to have to dig down for each one, place it in, probably make a little cored out area so it doesn't cause any issues. But I think if I did the math correctly as well, I think that was half the height. So it'll go twice as deep as that, which I think is more than enough. I don't want to go quite that low because I think I don't need to go down much more. Mostly I'm going to be building up, and I want to make sure I have enough for this castle. Although I can always move like that individual one, eventually just place one higher if I had to. I think it's just going to be easier overall if I don't have to do any of that. So without further ado, let's get it started. So the key is going to be, yeah, as you can see. So there's 1.5 blocks being wasted in between, but I'm okay with that. Now this is where I'm kind of curious how I'm going to do this. Because it's kind of a pain. We just have to remember 1, 2, 3... Yeah, kind of had a feeling I was going to have to dig out too to be able to do this, but that's all right. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like one of these smaller pieces so I can actually see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. Alright. Definitely gonna be messy. I'm just be floundering through this as we figure out what we're doing. That's alright. It'll be good reference material to send people to. I feel pretty sure a lot of people were asking like how to do this. The key is just move like place down the new boundaries and then just get rid of your old ones essentially, and you're covered. As long as the flame altar that you're placing is covering the area you've already built, you're totally fine. You'll only run into an issue if you like moved your specific altar. Then it would delete things and you didn't put other ones around it to cover the space you've already built in. So as long as you're placing down the new altars, upgrading them fully, then I believe you're good to go. There shouldn't be any issues, and that's what we'll figure out. But I am leaving, like right now, I could get rid of those 2, and as long as I don't log out, go to the main menu, then there's no issues. But if you say that flame altar, the flame altar that you can see right down there, if I moved that back to the center or something like that, then somewhere out here, then none of this would be covered, saying that like I didn't have these other 2 that are currently under. I have one over there and one under there. If I logged out and then logged back into this world, that's when it deletes things. What's up, Dylan? How's it going? And so that is just figuring out how to do these flame altars correctly. So I also am not sure how deep I want to go. That is the other thing. Not too far. I don't need a ton of verticality, but I want it because I can't technically build. I don't think you can build in the Enshrouded, which everything under here is kind of Enshrouded. So I can use some of it, but I don't know if I actually want to use it. I kind of want to leave it as is, and just maybe tie into it a little bit with some secret passages or entrances and stuff, and then we'll just see how it goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, 10. I think 11, 12, 13. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 below this. Hey, man. Well, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it with the $9.99 donation, my friend. You are awesome. Merry Christmas to you, too. Thanks for coming and hanging out. All right. Hate that I can't just open that and like it. The program I use. This is the struggle, is figuring out how deep I want to go. Does it matter? I mean, realistically, if I did the math correctly, the foundation blocks are 4 blocks high, 8 blocks wide. So this being 19 up, you get double this height, which it's a lot. That's a lot of height up and above and below. So I can't really think we need too much. I don't know. Finally did the public resource world, dude. Right, Josue? It's phenomenal. Like, so good. I guess the key is I want to be able to build down here at the least, which, I mean, that seems very possible. If I place it in there, yeah, we're good. This is like the lowest point, I think. Yeah, the public resource world is phenomenal. If there's anyone playing Enshrouded that needs any help, definitely join the Discord, because happy to help people do it. I think it makes this game exponentially more fun. The resource world, so it is a save that a different community made, and you can download the save, add it to your game, and then it becomes a secondary world. And so you can go to the public resource world, which is this, which his community is slowly building out to be this cool village and stuff, which is fun as well. But down here, you have every single item in the game. You can come. These are normally full as well. I jacked a bunch of this stuff already. I've had the public resource world for a little while now. I just have sort of haphazardly jumped in and out of it. But yeah, so it's got every single block in many options. It's incredible, but it's essentially like cheat mode without cheat mode. So you just go get to, if you want a specific block, you just hop over to this world, grab anything you want, and then anything you bring over stays with your character. And then the great part about that is on top of all of these items, at any point you can just paste the world back over this and it refreshes it. So you always can have, you have endless items. It has all the decor items, all the statues, everything. And he updates it every time there's a new patch and stuff as well. So there's millions of items, terrain stuff, there's all the food, there's all the smoothies, potions, literally everything in the game is available. So it's pretty phenomenal. Oh, and weapons and armors as well. Each one of these buildings is like for an individual NPC. You don't necessarily need them per se, but they're kind of placed in a fun way that you have access to them. But yeah, you can come get every weapon, fully maxed out levels and everything of what they are. All the mannequins and stuff, literally everything. It's pretty phenomenal. It's a game changer, that's for sure. How long does it take to farm on here to get all that? I'm pretty sure they're just spawning it in. I don't think they're actually farming it. I assume. Don't ask me. If he collected all that, it's slow. Faster, so like I think of it faster than Grounded, but you go through way more materials, it feels like. Like a stack of 5,000 is not that, it seems like a lot, but so like this block uses 256 blocks, which is 256 of these. So it's kind of, it's easier to farm, and on like if you put flame altars to like locations where you want to farm things, all you have to do is go to the main menu and log back in, and the resources will respawn. Like they reset every time you log out or every 30 minutes in game or something like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the most difficult thing, but when you're building really big, it's a huge process. It's a lot of collecting. There are ways to sort of get past it with like the stone and stuff. You can rake materials and sort of save on that, but it's sort of not as convenient. In this way, I don't have to spend any time crafting. I just get to play the game. I have fun just building in this game more so, where I really enjoyed the story of Grounded. This one's just sort of playing the game, and I'm more interested in just building. I also don't have hardly any time to collect like I did with Grounded at this current point in time. So that allows us to just build and have fun. And then I craft when I need to in my world, and otherwise I just collect the blocks and stuff. I'll probably craft more myself once I have this whole first base set up down here. This being my crafting area and where all the NPCs and stuff are going to go for the foreseeable future will help me actually start building, but we'll see. The public resource world is just too convenient, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Then hello? Yeah. You. Let's wait. placed correctly. Do that. Weigh myself 200 for one blueprint sheets. Resource world is the way to go. Yeah. And take it with a grain of salt. Like, it seems like seems worse than it is, but it is just. I think when you get to it, like, there's so many items and so many craftables that it just gets kind of ridiculous at a certain point. I'm gonna make sure this is the right. Do you have a PC so you can actually play it? I mean, if you do, I highly suggest it. It's really fun. Especially if you do the resource world. And then hopefully they'll be out on console soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it is the 15th block. I'm doing that correct. That's 15. It sits right below it. And I'm an idiot. I didn't think about what I just did. Yeah, I watch a lot of videos as well. There's incredible builds in this game. It's just on a different level than any other game out there. I think Grounded has its own cool effect for building, but it's hard to even express how good this game is. Shame the shame, yeah. So eventually it will be coming out on console though. They have announced that. So, eventually. But it is really cool. I guess the hard thing on PS5 is I'm not sure if you'd be able to do a resource world or not on console. But there are servers that you can join that are resource worlds. So, sort of same thing at the end of the day, I would say. Okay, moment of truth. Hopefully when it comes to console, it will be able to run smooth, especially if I plan on doing something massive. It seems, I mean, they've done quite a few like performance updates, so it seems like they do value that pretty heavily. They did a huge part of one of the most recent updates was all based on performance. Oh yes, dude. This goes all the way to the bottom. Let's go. That's actually perfect. All right. This is insanely perfect. Oh, dude, I'm like, this is way too good now. We can do anything. Yeah, nerd. Take that. Dude, we could, like, these mines are included. Wonder how deep it actually goes. Probably did some overkill. Oh, let's see. Where's my... Dude, it goes all the way to this side. Oh, it's so close. That actually means that with one more altar, I could build a bridge across here like I had been thinking. Which is amazing. I'm really happy with that. This is good. This is real good. It's getting destroyed. These bats. They just like glitch. Yeah, I didn't even show off all of the build items. Like, it's insane. That's why the resource world, I think, is so incredible, is that it's just so convenient to be able to go get, like, do I really want to spend my day making plates and bowls and stuff? Like, that just doesn't sound very enjoyable to me. So, holy cow, I can build, like, all up in here. Oh wow, I can build everywhere now. This is almost overpowered. Love it. Alright, so I can build like all the way down here though, which is pretty perfect. I don't think you can build in the actual shroud, so this actually does allow us to do some kind of like goofy stuff. And this weird temple is like actually part of our base, which I think is sick. Which is part of the story of what I'm creating here, is that the Mistberry catacombs, the shroud is like growing out of the catacombs. The evil is spreading, so that'll be the castle that I'm gonna make is gonna be like being ripped out of the ground and floating away in the shroud, essentially. Which I think will be very fun. It'll be very cool, and I freaking love that I can build all the way down to the ground now. I just need to test the height limit real fast, I think. That's the key. Just have to make sure that I give myself more than enough height to build this tower. Except, let's not do that. This is also why I need to build some little, like, access rooms or something to these locations, because they're going to be just in hills. But this is great. I'm really glad just did it. It was a pain to get the calculations for sure, but it's awesome. I'd love to build a city basically up in the trees, something insane. Yeah, that is. So like that's an area that's future content that they're going to be adding, which is incredible. I'm really excited for that. But the mountain biomes are insane. These like forest biomes are really great in the open plains and stuff. There's cool mountains that aren't snowy. There's an incredible like desert. This is all desert and stuff. It looks insane. There's a massive tree area. If you haven't seen the Blackmire, this place is insane. Like these are all huge trees. So you can build like a city in the trees. It's incredible. Very well done. I think there's going to be more than enough height already. Oh, shoot. Cool. I love doing that. I don't know why I'm building this right here, but... Nice thing is the count doesn't really matter. I can just... Visually, I want to see how tall this can go. But yeah, I'm building a massive city and stuff on this area. So I'm really excited to get into the, like... As much as I love my little dwarven castle thing, I'd say it's probably high enough. That's the limit. Okay. Yeah, so... Technically, we could build this high. Which, I mean, I think that's... probably plenty of height. I feel like saying that I'm going to go higher than this on this castle is kind of crazy, but it's hard to tell. Up, and away we go. Yes, let's see. it's not super high, is I guess the thing. I don't know, it could be higher. So maybe we make this one specifically a little higher. So I don't think I'm going to be building anything back here at all. Oops. Well, at least not down to the bottom. So we have a little bit more room to play with here, I think. Like, maybe I build something out, like a tower or a home out here. But other than that, it doesn't really make sense to build all the way on the ground. And I think we're going to have plenty of room to go down, it felt like. Maybe just this one goes higher and then the other ones, because nowhere else is going to go as high as this. This is kind of the biggest spot I'm currently planning on. But I don't want to be, like, frustrated down the road that I didn't make it tall enough. Not that you can't fix it, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but... say this one, maybe we just go down a bit. I guess that does slightly affect that, but there's going to be so much room. I don't think I'm going to have to go super deep in here. Hard to say, hard to say. So if the other was 15, gosh dang it. We go down. Yeah, just go down like this, like 6 or 7. Probably doesn't really matter. Just build it like right under here. I at least need to go low enough so that when I start building here, it's not going to like show randomly. But I don't think I'm going to touch that. I think I'm only going to be touching this area. I think to say that I'm going to go higher than that's kind of crazy, but at the same time, is it? It's kind of what we do, you know? What? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here? Yeah, maybe. What style area are you making this castle? It's a great question. The castle itself, I haven't necessarily like nailed down. So, not 100% sure on that, honestly. Like this has got to give us enough space. Oh, I feel like those, I thought those took a lot more. Alright, let's see how tall we can go here, and then that might give me a better idea if I care to go lower or not, but I don't really think it's going to matter. It's going to be huge, yeah. So currently what the idea is, so what we have here is our dwarven smithing area. That's where all my crafting, my storage, all that stuff's going to go here. Oops, don't fall. Where's my... Then in this general area, this whole thing is going to be like the ground, like it's going to be a crater. And then there's going to be almost a floating island with the shroud root, because there's the shroud is the crazy blue fog stuff, and then there's a luminous growth thing that looks super cool that we're going to use to sort of like make it seem like that's seeping out of the ground and it's like lifting the castle. So then there'll be like waterfalls of this shroud material, and then it'll be creeping up the bottom of the tower as well. The style of that is kind of, honestly, I don't know. I have a lot to think through for that, but it'll be similar to like the white and kind of black blocks that I'm currently using. So it'll be sort of, I've been looking, not using Minas Tirith as a specific reference, but some Minas Tirith-esque builds. So like that white kind of like high elevated style, I guess, like using white blocks and bricks to make it look super fancy, I think is the idea. And then that will be juxtaposed to the like dark and blue luminescent growth that's kind of like taking over from the catacombs. At least that's the hope. And we'll see how it goes from there. And then everything in the middle, all of this is going to be the city. So I'm going to have buildings for each NPC specifically. So there'll be a smith, there'll be a carpenter's place, there'll be a hunter's shack, there'll be a pub, there'll be like all those sort of things. Build out as much of a city as I possibly can. There'll be a city wall that goes around the entire outside of it. Then there'll probably be maybe some mixed housing at different levels in some of these areas. Maybe some of these outer areas will either get towers or houses or whatever it is. And then this area, I don't know what this is going to be, but down there, I'm going to do maybe like a city hall kind of library. And then maybe underneath it'll be an armory. But I might do the armory in here depending on how much space I have. It's kind of, it all depends on the amount of space I have is kind of currently what I feel is holding me back. But actually, this goes all the way down here, so this is actually perfect. The fact that this goes all the way to the bottom still is great. This goes super deep. Okay, we're good. Alright, that's kind of ridiculous. Whatever. But he will ever know. Don't tell him. It's a pitfall for anyone that tries to break it. Oh, jeez. I almost fell in the pitfall. Alright, we're good. So that all feels perfect. I think we continue. Let's go see the height, I guess. I think once we know... Once I see how high I can go, then we can really... I'll just do the other two and we're set. Gotta go delete all that too. Oops. Dude, am I gonna do it twice? Cool. Struggle's real. But yeah, I mean, I want to give myself absolutely as much flexibility as I possibly can with this space. Because the hope is that I can build here, like I had been saying previously, in theory until Grounded 2 comes out. It's going to be the hope. I'll just cover it like that for now. Call it good enough there. But yeah, I mean, my goal is like a long-term build similar to the sandbox build in Grounded. So the longer I can build, the better. Okay, I love this game. Don't buy it. It's the worst. Gosh dang. It's too easy to accidentally do the triple press of spacebar, which is how you glide. Don't press anything at all. Just left click, one spacebar. Alright, again, that's how high we can build. That seems excessive, right? That's gotta be enough. If I build higher than that, I'm just ridiculous at that point. I also want enough room to go down with this whole thing. I think this is going to be plenty of room, but to go down as far as I'd like. But I do need to make sure that there's enough space for this, the rest of the smith to be built. Because yesterday, I was like, oh, I'm just going to dig this out more. So I started digging this out, and then that was the end of my thing. So I was like, well, that's a huge bummer, because that significantly ruins my plans. So I had to adapt. I mean, that's what I'm figuring out is a big part of this game, but there's definitely immensely more planning that goes into a mega build. There's a different level of freedom at the same time. Okay, so that's really as far as we're going to get to go, actually. Huh. Build Asgard? You definitely could. This isn't as deep as I was hoping, unfortunately. But I can't really change it at this point. I guess, yeah, the flame altars could be moved that way, but since we're hitting the edge here, this is what we got. So, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I think we can make this amount of space work. I think it'll feel bigger. It feels bigger. Actually, this is bigger than I thought because we have all the way to here. You could build Atlantis. They are adding water to the game at some point as well, so you can go crazy with it. I also messed with this detail a little bit. Can't remember if I did that on stream or not. So there's going to be a big set of stairs that goes up and to the left and up and to the right, and then this is going to be kind of down in the center. There'll be sort of a walkway over this, I believe. I have a lot to figure out with that still, but that's sort of the idea, and this is going to be... There were stairs here. I removed them, so just to think of these as the stairs. And these will be the bars that like make it so you don't walk off the stairs. And then this all gets built out this way for all the NPCs. There'll be more kind of like forge spaces like this kind of out in here. And then there'll be branches off for different areas. I'm going to build some like minecart track things like this. I really like how this looks. So I'm going to build some of those. Kind of awesome. And some offshoots is if you could like have some mining areas in here, I think will be pretty cool. Then it'll be sort of a carbon copy on this side. I just have all the NPCs trapped currently because they do this and they try to escape. Placing next also close to end of previous. Yes. So I have it all calculated currently. So if we look... Also, welcome in Phase Walker, by the way. Hope you're having a good night. So each one of these corners is sort of, it's one less block than absolutely maxing this space out. So what I did is I sort of picked a center point, then I built up just so it was easier because I didn't have to build into the hills and I could see this visually. I built up, you can have, from that center block, you can have 19 blocks outwards. That'll get you the max, that's 160, you get 160 blocks. Each foundation block is 8. So this is 8, 16, so on and so forth. I counted from that inside the center block, 19 out, and that allowed me... Essentially, so there's one block of overlap between all of these is how it's going to work when they're fully built. The Building Free Cam and Builder's Companion mod allows you to go into terrain. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really like using it, and it's really bad for content, I found. as soon as you start using gameplay mods like God mode and stuff, it seems like viewership goes exponentially down in building games. People want to see as much survival building as possible. They want to see you build things they can build. So I'm using a resource world to get all the resources just because I don't have time to farm. But other than that, I'm playing completely vanilla Enshrouded. So for content's purposes, I have used the builder's free cam. It didn't do what I personally wanted. I don't really need the ability to fly through the earth and stuff. I just wanted it for making videos, and it was so jittery. Like it felt like when you were doing a free cam walk, it was like this. Like I could not get it in a comfortable state. I mean, that might just be me at the end of the day, but didn't think about this. Interesting. But yeah, I did not like the experience of using the Builder's Companion mod. It just didn't work for me. It didn't do the things I wanted to, and although it's easier, people will immediately reject content over it. It's crazy, but that's how people treat it. So I'm just avoiding it. Every video I've seen of someone using that, like, as part of their building has just been, like, people just destroy it. And I honestly don't have any issue. I want to play the game at the same time. I don't want a creative experience. I want survival without having to grind for 60 hours a week to get the materials. And so not using it just works for me personally. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but that is specifically how I enjoy playing. I get bored. Oh no. I get too bored using complete custom mods like that. It kind of ruins my gameplay experience, and I just get bored. So I like to keep it somewhat survival mode, and that's just a personal thing. Crap, I forgot to count again. But to each their own. I don't really care if people use it or not. It doesn't make any difference to me, but it just seems to be a pet peeve of a lot of people on YouTube. Unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. Okay, so then flame altar goes here. Yeah, people are silly, but unfortunately, like, I've watched a couple people's videos and like I guess all interaction on a video is in theory good interaction. It's no matter what positive or negative thing someone says, it's good for your video at the end of the day. But reading through the comments of this one dude's videos, all people care about, there's like 10% of people like his base. The 90% of people are complaining that he's flying around and like using the Builder's Companion mod, and they hate it. You went 40 foundations down? No. 15 is what I'm currently doing. I'm finding a happy medium balance of allowing me to build all the way to the ground and build high enough to build my tallest tower. So I'm trying to meet in the middle because I'm building inside. Oops, didn't want to use that. I'm building inside the mountain and down to the bottom. I'm building walls that go out, and I want to build eventually like out on these sort of areas if I decide to. Because once I get these two out, I'll have all of this area covered as well. So I'll be able to build towers out here and everything. And I don't need endless height. So this is about a happy medium where it's enough height to build as high as I want to, but also build as low as I want to. So it's 160 blocks up and 160 blocks down. If this 40 foundations down from where altar is set, or 36 to 38, yeah. So I'm just arbitrarily kind of placing this 15 blocks down. So I have enough to go high and enough to go low. It's sort of an arbitrary number to me. It wasn't very specific. But with the 2 that I've laid out, I can build all the way to the ground. So I can use the entire build, this mountain, which was perfect, exactly what I wanted. And it was more than enough height to get me where I wanted to go with my tower. Because that altar, I have one in that corner so far, and this altar is placed slightly higher than the one at that corner, so I can build a little higher for the tower. And I don't need to touch the ground on that side as much. But I want to build like some stairways or something from the bottom as well, because I want it to be like a fully cohesive thing. Unless they are paying for his game and the server he is on, if he is using G-Portal, they just need to chill the heck out. People have the right to play their game the way they want. Oh, 100%. That is like my mantra. Here, what did I miss? Did you kill the dragon? I killed the dragon last stream, man. That's why I was curious why you were leaving. I was like, I'm killing it for you. And then you're like, all right, I gotta run. I was like, dang. So yeah, that's like the very first thing we did last stream. He died a handful of times, but it was good. But yeah, dragon, welcome in again. Hope you're having a good night. You too, Knife. Both dragons are here now. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of playing a game how you want. Who cares? But I don't like personally playing with a full creative mod. I like playing a little bit of the survival element. For me, it keeps the building interesting, going and doing the quests and all that, which you can still do with the Builder's Companion, but I don't love the experience of using those mods. They just feel off. They're never as... They don't flow enough for me, typically, but... And I'm sure if I spent more time in the Builder's Companion, I would feel differently about it, but I just didn't enjoy it. And they're going to be adding a free cam to the game at some point, so I just decided I can wait. I'm only streaming it anyways, so I'm enjoying this experience. And I have no problem hopping in between the 2 worlds. It's so convenient. Less chance of messing up my game, and I enjoyed that it still is full survival. It's not like all I'm getting is resources. I'm not doing anything else, really. Congratulations, my fiance got sick. My son is sick, man. It's the worst. Never fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Not the end of the world if I did it wrong anyways. Where are you building at? This is the Mistberry Catacombs. Sort of the big hill. Kind of feels like the Lonely Mountain is the way I currently am thinking about it. It's just its own little, like, volcano right here. It's not too far from the spawn location. I just really liked that it sort of had, like, this cool rock wall already built into it. It felt like a really good place to build, like, an epic fortress. Where I have my little town that's all fully protected. I'll have a castle, I'll have everything. Kind of makes sense to have this big thing. And then it also was the perfect place to allow for like a city build on top of a mountain without like building it into the mountain or just finding a ridiculous flat spot. And then also allowing me to like build into the mountain because I wanted to do some like underground area, like dwarven places. I wanted high city walls and towers that you could see like from far away. And this felt like a perfect spot once I flattened out that area. It just was perfect. You have a base east of here. Like here. Or here. It's a good spot too. Or here, actually. I've seen a lot of people building there, right? That's what yeah. Which was one of my ideas. We have a long ways to go. Till we're even anywhere near doing any of this stuff. We got to build that, then the city, or the castle, then the city, then the second build. Maybe build the walls with the city at the same time, creating like entrance gates and stuff. And then My flame altars almost go to that area, so I had thought about building that as a bridge eventually. So if I feel like it, I may actually expand to that side and build like an epic bridge and like extend this out and build a bridge to build on this side too, if we really wanted to. I had this really cool idea of like the in Asian countries, they've got the those like tiered hillside farms that are like, they look incredible. And I had a really interesting idea to do some like tiered farms like that. Is currently an idea I'm messing with. So, and I do want to incorporate the Mistberry Catacomb into the build a little bit. I'm not totally sure how yet, but I can build perfectly to the area below. Meaning the area that isn't in the shroud, I can build to perfectly. And I don't really have a problem with the Mistberry Catacombs being as it is. I kind of like that it's this crazy like dungeon thing. It kind of fits the narrative for the story of the city that I'm doing anyways, so I'm kind of interested in it. But I can build down to the area I want to, which is perfect. So I don't think I'm going to need a mod per se. It actually like I got these placed pretty much perfect to where I can build all the way to here, which is all I really wanted to be able to touch. I really liked this. I mean, I think it looks pretty perfect the way it is, honestly. I just have to figure out how I want to tie into it at some point. So it's like there's a staircase or something that gets down here, and then leaving the shroud as is. I don't really want to build anything extra, or I don't have any ideas currently, at least. Maybe down the road, but this is so far down the road for this build that I'm kind of like, I have no clue what I want to do with that if I did get down to this level. But eventually we'll hit this this area, and I kind of enjoy that it looks great the way it is. Honestly, I don't have any issues with any of this. I don't know what I would add to it, I guess, is my my point. So maybe when we get further along in the build, we'll figure it out. But I'm perfectly excited with this being exactly how low these go. It's working out very well. We have a lot of flexibility and stuff we can do. And this area already looks like perfect. Did I never read that? What the heck? Yeah, I did. It's just always going to glow. Cool. I might change this door to be cooler, though, and make some of these entrances more interesting. But we'll see. We will see. There's a lot to figure out, honestly. Builder's Comp has it if you need it, yeah. And we'll also, I mean, we'll see where mods go over time. I kind of enjoy building standard in the game until it gets to a point where maybe I'm bored, I'm running out of things to do. Then it becomes the idea of doing like modded gameplay when people are kind of over the vanilla experience. I think sounds slightly more interesting. But we'll see. I'm definitely not opposed to it. I just don't need it right now. The convenience of having every block is kind of like nullified for me. I mean, I love the props, I will say that, but I prefer building with the survival props. That was my biggest thing, is I like building specifically things that other people can always build. So vanilla players can steal any idea I have, because the only difference is I have a resource world. So I'm only using the in-game items, although there are some insane props and some really cool stuff that you can do with the mods, and I have seen that. They're really cool. But I like, specifically for my content, to have people be able to recreate anything I do. So I try to stick to as survival as possible for that reason. I think it makes it more relatable. yeah, some of the fences, there's a lot of cool stuff, but right now I'm testing out OBS to make videos. Nice. If you have any questions, just ask. Not that I am like some expert or anything. I do know a little. Okay, we're gonna fall to our death. So I'm gonna have to build this out a little bit, which is fine. That's totally fine. We'll go 15 blocks and then we'll just build out a little more overhang, which will look good. I think that'll look fine. I knew I was gonna have to do some messing around to get all of this included the way I wanted to. Technically, this one doesn't need to be that far over, but I want to maximize the amount of stuff I can build at. And so if I have to terraform a mountain a little bit, then so be it. Oh, interesting. That's where I want to build. Even a little more than I thought, but whatever. I can live with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be harder than I thought. So what I need to do is build this side. We'll just mess it up a little bit to get it done. It's fine. It's the great part, is I can just keep terraforming all of this as I go. Make sure I don't fall through the ground, yeah. I knew I was going to get close here in a second. Okay, how many blocks down is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 'No. Oh, that was so close. What's up, crazy? Long time no see. I built for a while spamming water at seabed. I can't wait till they actually add water to the game. That's gonna be so nice. Wish there was a way to like move that down easier. The question is, do I need to go any lower than this? Probably not. I mean, we're gonna be able to build all the way to the bottom either way. Guess it slightly affects the other area though, so I kind of want to keep it the same. Since I have a little over 1,600 wells. What the heck? That's a lot. How's it going, crazy? How you doing? I've been busy, but now I'm here. Let's go. That's a lot of wells. Can you even use that much? Like, that seems insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $11, 12. Guess I need to do this then. able to continue to build down. Doing good. What about yourself? I'm doing good. Surviving. It's been crazy. I'm having I didn't have to, but I haven't had childcare because my mom is the one who watches my son while my wife and I work every day. So they just live down the road from us and they're both retired. And so she's all about that grandma life, but my grandma had to go to the hospital, so then she hasn't been able to watch him all week. So it's been an insane week, to say the least. I will say that. It's been a very, very busy week. But no, that's life sometimes. Gonna hoard water? I think that's more than hoarding water. I think you need to share with the world. Bring over all the items and fill 2 chests of each of all of them. Yeah. I don't need 2 chests, but I do want, of course, it becomes night. I'm gonna have, I don't know if I'm even gonna have 1 chest with every item. It's a little overkill, but I don't know. I currently have it laid out. All these chests are gonna move, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 times 5,000 blocks. Is currently what I'm messing with, but we'll see. That's all the blocks, and then I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to lay out all that stuff. Typically, I like to do 1 item per chest, but it's so many items in this game that I'm not sure if I want to go quite that crazy. I don't even know if I gave myself enough room to make a crafting room like that. Because we have, this is about as far as we can build this way. That's where the mountain ends. So we have this whole sort of area, both directions, to do chests and stuff. But I'm not totally sure if I want like a big open room. I got a lot to figure out. How do you add a resource world to Enshrouded? It's actually pretty easy. If you are not part of, I think I saw you joined my Discord. If you haven't, join the Discord. If you go to the Enshrouded chat, I was talking about it like last week or something. And I guess there's a handful of people that have them. I use Lindsay Gaming's. He seems to keep it up to date really well. He's like rebuilding it with his community and stuff, so I enjoy that as well. But so you can join like what Phase Walker is saying, which you're not on Twitch, you're on YouTube, so you can't see that. But there are public servers. So Wolfic has a public server you could just join that resets all the time, or you can just add it to your own saves. So you just paste the Lindsay Gaming file over yours, so you don't have to do a server or anything, which I kind of prefer. Personally, and then I can control it as much as I want and make changes and adjustments and stuff. And then every time he updates it, I just re-download the file and keep a save of it on my desktop. Or on my external hard drive, I guess, is where I actually have it. But there's a bunch of different ways. There's a handful of different ways you could do it that way. Or a handful of different servers and people you could do it with. So overall, it's either just you change your game to a local save instead of a Steam cloud save, and then you're able to you download Lindsay's save files, and then very easily just copy and paste over it. It just adds additional files to your save is all. It's nothing too crazy. It's a little chunky at times, but clunky at times, but I'm enjoying it so far. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. We did it. So that means I need to go, that's 15, so here, yeah. Or, as Phase Walker on Twitch is pointing out, you can also download the Builder's Companion mod off of Nexus Mods, if you like that more. And then you just get infinite everything, and more of a custom build experience. It's a little more overhang than I, but that honestly, like overhanging that to match won't look bad. Yeah, free crafting and stuff, that's all good. I prefer the resource world personally. I don't know. I've had fun doing it, messing with it thus far. But to each their own, honestly. That's what I love. I very much enjoy when people get to play the game however they feel like. So if you like mods, mod away. If you hate mods and you want a vanilla experience, then vanilla away as well. I think that's what, at the end of the day, makes a really good game is survival game is the flexibility to do everything. Dude, are you kidding me? Knew I was going to do that one of these times. Tried joining your server, but I think I goofed it up, and now it tells me it's invalid. My Discord. I'm assuming you're meaning Discord server. But let me know if it's different. 500 a block and turn on infinite item options, infinite blocks, yeah. Definitely works. I've enjoyed the resource world, though. I don't know. There's something about that experience I've enjoyed myself, so I'm all good with it. It's not for everyone, though. Huh. You followed that link? Let's see. Oops. Pressing buttons. Yikes. Let me try to get you a new link and see if that's it. If you're at Dragon, it says you joined. Interesting. Exactly, Phase Walker. It's whatever works for everyone at the end of the day. That's what I'm enjoying about this game thus far is there's a lot of different ways you can play it. You can play pretty hardcore kind of survival. You can play just building custom with every item known to mankind. You can, I mean, everything is an option, which is really cool. Makes it a lot of fun. Gives me the ability to make content on it longer as well. Because down the road, I can unlock those things and gain some extra abilities. It is weird, though. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I just get really bored doing, like, complete custom builds. I don't know why. Like, even though you can still do the quests and everything, I just don't have as much fun for some reason. I just get bored much faster of a game that way. It's very weird. See you in my list. Huh. Yeah, I mean, if you're at Dragon, it said literally at 8:55, welcome at Dragon to Timber Builds. You have like a black and white picture of a lady. Wonder if you like might just need to reload it or something. But if you get it working, I repasted the link to try again. But if you get it working in the Enshrouded chat, I lined out the whole thing, and there's a video showing how to do it. Then I line out a couple things that the video does not do a good job telling you. That really stumped me. There's just a couple finicky things you have to do. You have to make more than one world So you can't just have one base world, or the files don't show up properly, which to me was super weird. And then just turning the Steam cloud saves off was a little bit of a... If you've never done it, can be a little weird to find. But other than that, it's just downloading the world and then saving, or pasting it alongside the files you have, and then moving your files. It's super easy. Figured it out. Let's go. Kids are finally asleep. XYZ. That is my life right now, dude. Every night, I'd stream 2 hours, 3 hours earlier if my kid would sleep these days. He refuses, though. He fights it so hard. He hates sleeping. And he's sick right now, so it's even worse. Like, he needs it so bad. And he's just fighting for dear life at every opportunity. It's a rough times. Yeah, 9 o'clock is tough. That's late. Late for kids. Depends on how old your kids are, of course, but mine, I have an almost 2-year-old, so 9 o'clock is way too late for him. He's been going to sleep at like 8, about. Oops, don't want to do that. Oh yeah, I forgot to upgrade my altar, didn't I? Wait. Guess I should have given myself an out here. No great way to get back. Getting ready to start making videos soon. Let's go, knife. Best of luck. Yeah, my kids are trying to drop naps so soon. Oh, God. That sounds horrible. That sounds like the worst time of life. The difference between my son... Well, let's be honest. My son never really took 2 naps a day, but the days he did take 2 naps were, like, best days ever. Being able to, like, go get some things done around the house and, like, have a bit of free time was, like, so nice. Those days, I miss him. He's a hell of a lot of fun right now, but... let's do this. Don't need to fall to my death. Yeah, I have a 3-year-old and 3-month, and it's 10, which is kind of early for them. Dude, what? I'd lose it. My son isn't in bed by 8 o'clock. I'm, like, dying. It doesn't help that I stream, so I need as much time as humanly possible, but it's a long day. He gets up early, too, which is part of the reason he has to go to bed by 8, because he's so tired. He doesn't want to admit it, but he is. Alright, that's all fine. So these are all fully upgraded. What am I doing? Oh, did you change? Is that what's throwing me off? Changed from Twitch, didn't you? No, you were on YouTube earlier. Oh, your image changed. That's what's off. We're just moving flame altars. So I set up, as you can see, this monstrosity of a structure was me lining out the maximum distance between all the different altars. So I picked a center point, raised it up just so I had it high enough so I could actually like lay it all the way out without destroying half of the mountain or just drilling a hole into it with these foundations so I could see it easier. And then went the maximum amount, well, 1 block less than the maximum amount. And so then I knew exactly where to place my flame altars because I didn't have enough space these two altars with this one was so inefficiently placed that it was like, I think it went about here. It went here, and then it cut like right here, cut out that, and then stopped somewhere in this area and then went across. And then this died just before this edge in there. And now they go like to here around this whole area. So now I can build this entire space, including all of these like raised little platforms and stuff. I have the ability to build on those now. And it goes, they're placed at a better height. So I have the correct height because I didn't have the height I needed to build the castle that I want to build here. And then it also allows me to build some stairs. I wanted a main set of stairs somewhere. I don't necessarily know where yet. I think it might be involving this somehow, and then like a not secret, but main staircase going up this way or something, and then like building out this is a cool gateway sort of looking thing. But I just needed to maximize the flame altars better because these were placed so poorly. I didn't realize, as you can almost see, if you line these up, this with that, and then move that, it's double the distance. I counted the distance from where this would end, and then I placed this one instead of counting to the middle and then counting to here, because this one also gets the 19 blocks each way. So I'm technically, these two are like super overlapping each other. So I was like, I have to fix this. This was so poorly laid out. So now I can destroy these two, and then I can use this one as my main teleporter. So I'll use 5 flame altars on this build, which one of them is overkill, but I want a main teleportation spot. During school, I was staying up till 2 or 3 nightly to get homework done. Oh, dude, architecture school with kids sounds like a different level of torture. Like, that sounds so difficult. Ugh. Glad you're done, though. That's awesome. Or you have, like, what, 2 terms left? 1 term? 1 semester? What's up, Harley? The build area is giant cubes. Oh, no. They are giant cubes. It is a 160 by 160 by 160 by 160 box. So it's 160 blocks left, right. I mean, if you placed one here, it's 160 blocks, 160 blocks, 160, 160, and then it's 160 up and below in a perfect square. What's up, Jeremy? Welcome in. Got the whole crew here tonight. Everybody's doing good. Not the most exciting of building tonight, but I think this is also something a lot of people have been afraid to do. 2 semesters? Oh, so close. So close, but so far. I think a lot of people have been really afraid to move their flame altars, so I think it's a good thing to have like some reference material for people to go mess with to understand it a little bit more. Dude, I did it again. Dang it. Struggle's real. Yeah, and then fill all that back in. I don't really care if I waste a bunch. Waste a bit of material, whatever. It's unlimited. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. We did it right. Woo! We're not total idiots. I got that all deleted. Good, thanks for asking. Just been super busy working and trying to get the new house ready so we can move in at the beginning of the year. That's awesome. Moving is like the best, worst thing in the world. So it's really fun once you're moved. But man, moving itself sucks. The process is unbearable, but once you're in and you're settled, I love being in like a new place. Cannot wait until my wife and I can actually get a house and stop renting. Oh, I knew I was gonna do it again. Dang it. Are all of trying to get settled down. Huh? Are you doing voice to text again? Am I still practicing? No, I do not work at a firm anymore. I ended up switching. I worked at a firm like my entire life growing up. So my dad was an architect at a big firm in Portland, Oregon. That was super awesome place to work. I worked there growing up as like just office admin, runner, like doing anything and everything they needed. And then once I got into architecture school, I started interning and working there. And then so I worked there every winter, every summer, every spring break that I wasn't on vacation or anything. I worked at the firm and then worked there for a little while after school. Oh, dang it. That's a bummer. Out of stamina, out of mana. And my dad retired and I worked at the firm for a little while longer, and the culture just changed. This isn't a gloaty thing or anything, but my dad was the lifeblood. He was one of the directors or the owners of the company. By the end of it, he worked his way up into ownership, and he was like the lifeblood of the company. So he was the culture, I would say. He wasn't necessarily the biggest salesman or best architect, but he created the culture of the firm, which is why it was such a fun place to work. And he retired, and it just like the culture went so crap, like that it just drove me insane. So I ended up getting a job with a buddy after school and after working at the firm for a couple years before I got my license or anything. And then did medical sales for a little while. And then through that job, randomly got connected with a guy who owns an architectural site furnishings company. And so now I am a sales manager at Huntco Site Furnishings. So now, dang it. Now, instead of doing architecture, I am just on the other side of it, more the construction manufacturing side. And I get to design products. I do a lot of their design work. I kind of do everything you do in a firm, just without the architecture side of it. So I still get to do a lot of graphic design, a lot of, oh my gosh, dude, I hate this. Every time. Drives me nuts that I keep doing this. I think I'm going to be able to get to that from anywhere else. I just have to not be impatient. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I get to like still work in the architectural field, but without the deadlines and stress of architecture itself. I still get to design. I've always enjoyed product design as well. Like it wasn't just buildings. Like I just like design in general. I actually did a lot of product design stuff in school as well for some of my miscellaneous projects out there. So it was a really natural fit. I'm a full-time salaried position that makes more than the vast majority of architects will ever make, and I work 32 hours a week, half-day Fridays. Still get to work with architects, still get to like go to firms and do stuff. I'm actually trying to implement like lunch and learns and stuff currently as we grow further. It's a really small company, but that's the hope, is I get to do lunch and learns, teaching people about like bike code. I also got heavily into mountain biking and biking in general, and a big part of what we do at this job is we sell like commercial bike racks, and that's hooked me up with a couple contacts at like Ceres and Sportworks, which are really cool bike-centric companies that sell really good products, both commercial and like retail stuff. And so I've had a good time. It's not like the coolest job in the world, but it pays the bills and it's a lot less stressful than architecture. That is for sure. As much as I love doing it, I sort of lost my passion for architecture because of architecture. Struggles of working in a firm, being creative professionally every day was... Although I had done it for a long time, it just, I don't know, it killed some of the passion for me. And maybe that was partially just the company that I really loved growing up falling apart. They're still a great company. They just aren't fun to work for anymore. The vast majority of people that I liked that worked there ended up leaving too. Or at least a good chunk of them. We're all trying to get settled down. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Sorry, that was a long-winded explanation. Long day at work, brain is not braining. That's my everyday, dude. All right. Look how much cleaner this looks, too. Like, they're actually all, like, even. This one actually looks like it might be one off, but maybe that's just my visuals. It's my brain, not braining. Maybe they are even, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. That's specific? Oh, jeez, I hate that. That is specifically why I made it one block too big, or too small, was to guarantee that I didn't have to make a mistake. Ouch. My legs. And that is my son crying. My wife is going to be pissed. But yeah, so now we've got the flame altars set correctly. We can see they go all the way out. This is perfect. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. I just didn't want to put in the mental effort that it took to lay that whole thing out and figure out the right heights and stuff. Oh no. Let me up. I need to put some stairs here or something. And I fell in my own hole. I deserve that. There we go. Alright, where's my line? Can't even see it. Alright, there it is. Oh, perfect. So yeah, we've covered this whole thing. We didn't get all this back area, but this allows me to build out the full back of the mountain. I didn't really have any plans on this side anyways, so I could honestly delete some of this. That looks funky. Seems like something they messed up. Is it not? Weird. It's a shame it doesn't show a visual representation of your build border. I mean, it does. It's just hard to see at times. It's not... I'm not sure why. I wish it was like a vertical line almost. Instead of just showing this line, I wish it showed you the whole thing. That would have been really nice. Tired of working. At least I can retire pretty early, turning 30 this January. Nice. I am way too far from retiring. I'm 32, so. Unfortunate part of like doing architecture and stuff is it's not necessarily a high-paying job, and it's not necessarily a quick retiring job. You do it because you love it, but as a 32-year-old, I am overworking as well. I don't know who decided we should work every day, all day for the rest of our lives, but I'm not a fan. I have no problem working hard, but everything's too damn expensive now, just a pain in the ass. So we'll fill this in. But that's also, my wife and I think, are a little bit more entrepreneurial than most people, so I think we're both sort of interested in not working jobs forever anyways. So in the long run, I may actually end up buying the company I currently work for from the owner. Kind of had some discussions of doing that, since it's a really small company and no one else really has any interest, and he'll never retire until he sells it, so there's some possibilities there. And then I could do whatever I want and still like work on a regular basis, so wouldn't suck, but we'll see. Hard to say. The sooner I can retire, the better. I also want to get some rentals and stuff, but the housing market's just stupid right now, so it doesn't even feel... doesn't make any sense at this exact moment in time. But we'll get there. Dang, this didn't go quite as far out as I was hoping, but I don't need to build here, so I guess it's fine. Started G-Mills at 20, so hopefully can retire earlier than 60, but the way the world is, who knows? Yeah. My dad always said, everyone retires at 60, or like you want to retire at 58, but everyone ends up retiring at 60. I guess the one perk is my parents did very well, were very frugal and smart with their money, and have done very well. I mean, they grew up and had their adult lives in like the most prosperous time the U.S. has ever really seen in terms of growth and stuff. So they grew up at a very lucky time to do that, and they made a great... It is off by 1 block, of course. Oh, I guess it is what it is. I don't really care. I can always move it 1 over if I really want to. It's not the end of the world. I don't plan on building right here anyway, so I'm only building on the mountain. I want to see this border all the way around. But luckily, I mean, they're going to be alive for a long time. They're pretty healthy. But worst comes to it, I should inherit a little bit, some money. So hopefully I'll be able to retire sooner than 60 as well. But I think I'd lose my mind if I had to work an actual job till 60. It's a little different, like running your own company and doing your own thing, or designing your own bike. Become a millionaire. I don't know if I have like the engineering mindset enough. That's the struggle. I do like design, but I'm not necessarily the most like number geometry technical person in the world. Bought pre-2020 and our house price well over doubled, but we like this house. I mean, that's the goal. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have your house and you just save it for a long time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That was my biggest mistake in life, was not saving sooner. The struggles of going to school for 7 years as well didn't help. And school being expensive. But at the end of the day, I wish my wife and I would have just forced our hands a little bit sooner and just bought a house when we potentially had the chance. Once we started acting more serious, that's when the market like exploded and everything became so ridiculously expensive. And where we live is ridiculously expensive. Oregon's housing market's just stupid. Unfortunately. Interest rates are ridiculous. Got a 2-story house right now and would like to buy another one and rent this house out, but geez, not trying to have crazy interest. Yeah. I mean, that's the struggle, is like you can't really... Unless you can put massive amounts of money down on a house right now, like trying to make a rental doesn't even make sense. It's like the amount you'd have to pay per month, and like you could get great money for rent right now, but it's so expensive to get into the house. It's like, pff, good luck. Bike name, Mountain Timber. How many designs I have in mind that I need to get on paper? Sounds good, Harley. Talk to you next time. I will hopefully be streaming tomorrow. Good. I won't be streaming Friday. I do know that. I have to watch my father-in-law's dogs. They're going out of town for the weekend, so we will be too busy, unfortunately, to stream Friday, and then I won't be streaming the week of Christmas. So it may be a little while till you guys see me after this, but I think life should be back to normal after that, I think. Trying to design houses, that it's endless amounts of imagination as a designer is what you have to have. I think everything worked. I don't see any issues. Other than this one piece being off one block, I think we laid out everything else perfect. So I might move that later off stream or something. I don't really care that much right now. Ouch. But it was a long-winded process to just do that simple task, but it's all good. I'm all right with that, I guess. I need to move this somewhere else. I don't want to take my idea down, though, and forget about it. Alright, so we still need to clear out all this crap. Uncle built houses his whole life, thought in school I'd like electrical work, and that lasted about a year. Yeah, it's kind of how life goes. It's very easy to figure out stuff you like and then very quickly feel like you don't like it anymore. Totally sure what I'm going to do in here yet. Too much, and my wife is a designer too. That's the struggle. My wife is, she's not an architect, but she did some interior design for school. And then she is a marketing director, for a lack of better explanation, for a company. So she does a lot of graphic design and design work for them as well. Eventually, we'd love to like get into remodeling homes and stuff. We'd have a lot of fun with that. She would die. That's like one of her dreams, is to be able to remodel homes as part of our living. I think that's something I've always really wanted to do. I think it'd be really fun. But I have to get into the first house first. That's the struggle. Love to rent this house out, but then you got to worry about what people do to it. Put so much money into this house, it would be pissed if it got trashed. Yeah. You definitely have to have a different attitude to be a landlord. Definitely can be a struggle. It's like we're renting from my parents currently, and then we do the property management for them to save a little on rent because it's a duplex, and it's... Even with, like, we had some friends living in the second unit, and you're like, really? Even your own friends can destroy stuff. Not that it was anything too crazy, but you can imagine your friends breaking things on accident, and shit happens. Imagine if it's someone that doesn't know you and doesn't really care. What I did with this house, built in 1910, made it modern but kept the old wood. That'd be sick. Be really fun. I'd have a great time doing remodeling, honestly. Just a great, grand old time. We rented our house and it was rough, yeah. You definitely have to have liquid income as well. You have to be able to fix the things that go wrong. And they definitely cost money. It's like the best part about my current setup, renting from my parents, is that we get like house ownership 101, but we don't have to like pay for anything because all I am doing is the property management. So when things break, I have to figure out how to fix it and buy it, fix it myself, or like hire someone to do it. But I get like a trial run at being a homeowner. And dude, there are days where everything breaks. There are some bills that I would not have been able to pay. That's for sure. Rent out the other side, temper make your rent payment. I mean, if I owned it, I would definitely. But it's kind of hard to rent out. I mean, my parents are renting the other place out. I'm just running it for them. Eventually, my parents, if we do buy our own place, I would just keep property managing it, and my parents would give us a bigger cut. So, I mean, the ultimate goal is our income would go up if we could buy a house. So that's our like only goal in life right now. Is get to that point where we can own a home. Because then we get a house and we get some extra money. Because it's not like I pay a whole lot to my parents. They don't really. They just want to pay the property tax and stuff and fund a little bit of their retirement. They don't charge a whole lot to anyone that lives in the house though, like ever. It's always been really inexpensive, so if we get out and make a little more, we'll all make a little more, which would be ideal. We all just need a 200 apartment complex, dude, right? No, you know what I want? What my biggest passion in life would be is owning a parking lot. That is all I want in life. Just one parking lot. And if you don't know how much parking lots charge for one, you can make $100,000 plus a month in owning a parking garage in a decent sized city. So that's really my only ambition in life, is to own a parking garage. That's the dream, baby. That's all I want. So if anyone knows anyone selling a parking garage, just let me know. Then I could stream and ski and do whatever I wanted every day. That's the dream. If I could ski every day during the winter and then mountain bike every day during the summer, that's my life made. Not even every day, honestly. Just some of the days. More days than I currently get to. Knew I was going to want to make this higher. Man, what I would give to be born earlier in an earlier year in life. Still had to make smart decisions, but man, everything was so much easier. Everything in its grandma wasn't monetized yet. It's like, I'd be like one of the guys that has like a bunch of weird product businesses and stuff. Like, I spent a bunch of time over the before I was streaming, I designed my own dog walking belt. And like custom made it, learned how to sew and everything. And was going to start a business on it, but I haven't quite figured out the design yet. And then I had a child, which stopped, and then I decided I wanted to try streaming as well. Can never make up my mind, is part of the problem. But my wife and I would own many businesses if we had been born when my parents were born. Oh man, be game over. My wife alone would have been insane. She's always just wanted to own a business, so eventually. It's always hard to like keep the perspective that we're still really young at 32. My dad didn't even have a like big boy job until he was 35. He was a ski bum till he was in his early 30s. And he was able to retire at 58, and he figured out his life, so he could do that. I could figure it out. Dad went to a Dodge dealership and bought a 1966 Dodge Charger for like $2,000. Now they're $60K for a fast one. He always used to say, when I was 18, when I was your age, I had, right? I mean, my dad grew up like broke. They were very poor, but my dad also owned a Corvette for a while, and he's always had like a fun project car. That's tough to do these days, you know? Why does this feel off? What? I guess we'll just do that. There we go. Now, at a real job pass, I'd say 30, just bought and sold muscle cars. Wow. Now to do stuff like that, you have to like own like you have to make a TV show out of it. Like the Gas Monkey Garage or whatever. My dad loves that show. Get your license, this will be your car. He sold every car. I mean, I'm sure it was a great way to make a living for a long time, and then all of a sudden it got really expensive to do it, and everyone and their mom figured out that they could make money doing stuff like that, and they ruin it. It's a struggle. People. Dang people, man. They always gotta ruin all the good stuff. Dang boomers. At least the nice thing with my parents is they like understand how different it is from when they grew up and like where we are, where society is these days, like how much more difficult it is to do everything that they were able to do. And neither of my parents were necessarily grew up with any money, like at all. They were both of their families were very poor. Why is this guy always standing here? Like, what do you have with this corner? Get out of there. It'd be rough to have parents that, like, just don't get it. I think my parents' first house was $75,000, and they changed the cabinets and built a deck, and they sold it for, like, $300,000, and then their next house they bought for $250,000, and they sold that for, like, $700,000 or $800,000 when they ended up retiring. And they sold it when the market was crap, and it's probably worth over $1 million now. With this current, like, the current housing market, like, it's ridiculous. They just happened to sell it at a bad time, but they were just able to buy a house and then upgrade, and buy a house and upgrade, because if the market just kept growing and growing and growing. It's good times. When the internet wasn't a big thing, had paper ads. Could have made a fortune with the selling price of them now and the internet, but he's 65. He's done. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not working when I'm 65. Maybe I'd stream, but this isn't really work. This is like enjoyment, entertainment. So he's this goofy dude. go. Lock you nerds in. See ya. What else did I do off stream? You could buy a house in the rough parts of California like San Diego that are multi-million-dollar area now. Dude, seriously. Honestly though, like in a perfect world, I would have, as my grandparents lived in San Diego, actually really close to Disneyland when I was growing up. They don't anymore, but I should have just gone and been a Disney Imagineer. I think that would have been insane. Not that I couldn't still, but if I were to get my master's degree and become a licensed architect, that's probably where I would want to end up, is at as a Disney Imagineer. This would just be too fun. Like, they bought the land in San Diego for Disneyland for like $16 million or something like that. That land now is worth billions. Even if you got rid of all of Disneyland, and that was never a thing. That land is worth billions. It's nuts. Can't imagine what it will be like when we are 65. Dude, that's where I'm like, I feel bad for my kid. I'm like, if this is the market, like what we're growing up with, like this is my adult life, like what is he gonna have? Nothing? Is everything gonna cost $1 billion, or is everyone gonna be on Mars? Like what is it? What's gonna happen? I don't know. The Missouri average prices here are anywhere from 8 to 300, but some people want $250K for a 2-bedroom. It's pretty nutty, dude. The average house price here in Oregon is $450,000. The thing is, I've never seen a house that costs $450,000 here. Down the road from my house, there is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Night Dragon, thanks for hanging out, man. There's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath down the road from my house. There's a detached garage with like a workshop above it. The workshop and garage is like a 2-car garage with a space on top of it. That house is selling for $950,000 right now. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $900, almost $1 million. It's a decent lot, but anyone that's buying that would pretty much start over because the house looks like it's going to fall over. Like it looks like if there was a windy day, the house would just collapse. It's not worth. So you're paying $900,000+ for the land, and they had it up for 15 or 1.5 million when they first did it. And I think people caught on like no one's paying that much for a teardown. It's ridiculous. The house that like the duplex that my parents own, they only bought it for 200-something thousand. It's a very small. It's like a little apartment over a detached garage. So 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and then a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath house. Nothing crazy. Very modest. It's not super nice or anything. They bought it for 300,000, I think, when they bought it. It's worth over 1.5 now. Just because the area around it just like exploded. Like there was literally a dump across the road, like a pit. We used to go, like people would throw their garbage in this pit across the street from where we lived. Like we didn't live here, but it was like my parents' vacation home. So we'd stay in the apartment, and then my parents rented the house portion out of it growing up. So we always had a place to come down to go skiing and stuff, which was like my dad's big passion. I mean, I love it too, but we just used the little 1-bedroom, like, and I slept in the closet. My brother slept in the master closet, and I slept in the pantry. Good times. And it's literally it's quadrupled plus in price, which is nuts. And not because it's nice. It's just because the area is ridiculous and housing prices are stupid. Like if you had to buy this, like you couldn't make that money back as a rental. Like it would take you your half a lifetime for it to ever pan out to like make any money. So like it just doesn't make any sense. I think that's what blows me away about the whole process. It's just like people have too much money and don't care. So they just destroy the market. The houses all have foundation issues. That's true. Yeah, my boss owns a horrible little house in town that is like disgusting. But it's a little, then he rents it out, and it's crazy how much he could rent it for. He also does not rent it for very much because he can't bring himself to charge a bunch of money for it, but which I would struggle too. Like, gotta have some morals, right? It's like, what is happening there? You would think for $1 million, I need at least a column or two. There's a lot of historic houses around here, downtown, railroad days. So if I want one of them, it's insane pricing, but they are beautiful. Yeah. That's the other part is like, you buy a brand new house around here. They're not even nice. They're just big and expensive, but like the details is like an architect. I guess maybe I look at that stuff more, but like they're made so poorly compared to old houses. They just charge exponentially more for them, which is such a bummer. Don't want this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Will it go this wide? I don't know. House had stone foundation when I bought it. Dang. That's crazy. Got a bunch of people moving from California with remote work and selling California houses, which blew up the housing. Yes, that's... Oregon's the same exact way. Because Oregon has all the fun outdoor stuff that California has. It has good enough weather, depending on where you move. And like where I live, like the mountain's 20 minutes from town. There's mountain biking, there's skiing, there's snowboarding, there's lakes. You're only a couple hours from the coast. There's mountains everywhere. Like, you can do everything. There's nothing you can't do in this place. You get the winter, like good winter weather all winter. You get good summer all summer. Like, it's such a great place to live, but all the prices have been blown up by the California housing market. That it just makes it ridiculous. It makes it tough for the rest of us. Like, everyone I know that grew up here, like, can't afford to live here. Either you have to have money to live here is the hardest part. Yeah, you get more money if you make stuff lower quality, right? It makes total sense to me, right? I don't have a problem spending money on something that's really high quality, but I hate spending a lot of money on something that's a total piece of crap. That pisses me off. That's what I hate a lot about the way the world is currently. Does everyone realize that they can sell everything? And so everything has been monetized, and there's just nothing that you can just do without paying crap tons of money. This house since 19 town has settled only 5 inches. New houses could just blow over, I feel like. I pray for people in California. Yeah. But it's happening everywhere at this point, though. It's everywhere that has any place of interest to live is being turned into that, unfortunately. Back in the day, a light would last 5 or 10 years. Now they may last a month. Yeah, I mean, they make things to break. They make things so like an iPhone. Literally, it dies specifically because they need to make more money. So it's like... people like me are their nightmare. Like, I use my phone for years. And I don't make a phone last through the next 4 or 5 generations of phones. Like, I've messed up. And it's unfortunate that that's how we think. But I guess that's also the mentality people have when they don't believe in climate change and all that as well. So that doesn't help. I mean, this is 100% going way further out, so... let's be honest. thought I did a lot of clearing out, but it's never enough. I feel like I've said this every stream. This is the biggest pain about making this underground base, is digging out all of this. It takes forever. Just like old houses in general, newer ones just have no character to them. Copy and paste, yeah. That's... As a designer, that is one of my biggest issues with... It's everything, though. Like half the companies that make products and stuff, it's like they never even tried using it one time. Or they would have figured out, like, the massive flaw in the design. But they're too greedy. And they don't give a crap. They know it'll sell, so they just do it. Like, yeah, and you have to pay a premium now to get, like, an interesting house that isn't just a cookie cutter house. Which is crazy. It's unfortunate. I prefer houses. That's like this. There are some really cool. Now, they're not 1910 or anything. I mean, I guess some are. Not many, though. They're not quite that old in the Pacific Northwest, typically. But there are some older houses. There are some really nice houses in the area, but because they're older and more interesting, they cost so much money. And a lot of them need a crazy amount of work, too, which is also not super appealing. Or they're in, like, a historic district where you can't change anything, which is also a huge bummer. Makes it hard. Anyone here has free time, look up Garth Mansion and Rockcliffe Mansion. Those are just two in this town that were built back then that are amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Naturally, I did all of this work, and I think I want to make this slightly thinner. Because I want two of these per side. Not totally sure where this is going to start, but I think once I lay out two of these properly, that's where this entrance is going to start. So it'll be a little further back, most likely. So I can't really move this entrance. I like it centered on this, though. I guess that's one thing I have to struggle with. We'll see. I'll have to figure out some stuff off stream. Luckily, I do have childcare tomorrow for at least part of the day. So I will actually have some time. Thank goodness. Do a little bit of thinking. I believe in Germany and in that area you can get mansions for like very dirt cheap. I mean... I don't know if I could live. Germany's beautiful, but I don't know if I could live there. Luckily, my wife her family is Italian, so worst comes to it, we could move to Italy eventually. That's where I'd go. The architecture there is incredible. Why? Being honest, should set this back one. It's very easy to be inconsistent building in this game. There's so many details you can do and so many things you can adjust. So many details. So little time. looks nice. Down with that. Definitely like the polished granite walls as well. But yeah, I mean, if the U.S. falls apart and I'm left with no other choices, you catch me in Italy, y'all. I like the way they think there. You don't work all day, you live life. I enjoy the mentality of a lot of the rest of the world, honestly. Like, corporate grind mentality that the U.S. has is draining. Actually, maybe we just do... start kind of game planning how this is going to look. Family back in 1800s came from France to be coal miners here. I always think I shouldn't have even been here, right? My not grandparents or great-grandparents, but somewhere down the line there. Mostly came from like Sweden and Norway. I like the way they think as well, for the most part. No place is perfect, let's be honest, but I don't know, the US become such a money hoarding mess of a community with no culture that it kind of sad. If European dreams too, we've been to Spain and loved it, but at least have a vacation home or something there would be amazing. Yeah, I'd love to go to Italy. Spain was incredible. I've been there. I've been to France, been to Spain, been to Italy. And yeah, those were the three main places. They were incredible. North Korea? I actually have one of my best friends. His mom lives in Korea. Eventually we're going to go visit her and go with my buddy. She's like a second mom to me, essentially. When their dad passed away, we essentially adopted her kids as part of our family, and good times. I think it'd be cool to go to Korea. I also have a buddy that lives in Japan, and I really want to go to visit Japan at some point, but our kid's just too young for it to be enjoyable at the moment. I would say is the current struggle. It's not a very fun vacation, although they have a kid that's about the same age, just slightly older, so that part would be fun. The key is, I mean, this is probably big enough. I'll have to see what this looks like. Nice thing is I don't really care about this side of the mountain, so like building this out and down is going to be really easy. I kind of have a lot of flexibility here. Whoa, that was weird. Space is so big. So much to detail and design. I got lofty dreams, man, when I start building. I built so small starting in Grounded, and it just sort of like grew over time. I didn't have the massive ideas from the beginning. They just kind of ended up that way. It's interesting. Living in Alaska, I couldn't. I have a friend that actually lives in Alaska too. She moved there. She's been there. I think she moved there like early this summer. She loved the summer. It's funny. She moved from Hawaii to Alaska, which seems like it couldn't be more polar opposites, but to each their own. That's what she wants to do. Her and her boyfriend moved there, and they seem like they're having a blast, so I don't know if I could. It's a little too out there, although I honestly kind of hate people at this point in life, so at the same time, it doesn't sound horrible not living near people anymore. Just being out in the world. That part sounds enjoyable. It's definitely a different lifestyle. I don't know if I could do it. I know my wife couldn't do it. That is, like, guaranteed. I don't think that's her. She's not necessarily a city, but that's too far from typical amenities. Let go. That's what's crazy. I meet people from California, Florida that move to Missouri, and I'm like, why? I'm in the nicest way possible. I agree with that statement. Missouri. Not sure. To each their own, though. I mean, I will say the housing price that you mentioned, that is a bonus. I will say that. I think that's enough motivation for many people to make decisions like that. Like, I work remote. Moving to a place like that would make my lifestyle exponentially better. Just much easier. Everything would be more affordable. Everything's still expensive, but my dollar would go a lot further than where it currently does. It's looking great. It's coming along. There's little details. We got a lot of randomness going on. I'm just gonna get rid of this. It's kind of driving me nuts. Yeah, I thought I did that. Screwed myself. But I would love some land. My wife and I would definitely love some land. In the perfect world, we'd own a Bernese Mountain Dog breeding farm. So that's the dog we have currently is a Bernese Mountain Dog. If you don't know my logo, that's my dog. And I don't talk about it a whole lot these days. But yeah, owning a Bernese Mountain Dog farm, breeding Bernese Mountain Dogs, and having some land and some animals, and streaming for a living or something like that, just on top of the dogs, that'd be a great one. But land out here is too expensive, so for the time being, at least. Beautiful. It's looking good. Like I said, there's still so many details to figure out, but it is looking good. I'm very happy with how we're progressing. It just feels it's extremely slow. Don't talk about it that much, just every stream. Oh, well, there you go. You could say I'm repetitive. A pet panther. I don't know about that one. That sounds horrifying. Actually horrifying. It's cool in theory, but it sounds horrifying. If I kept this as is, and then did this in a smaller one, the issues then doesn't work very well. I'm gonna have to mess with it. I do like the proportions of it. That's the hard part. Maybe I don't need to go too wide. Two of those per side. Probably could live without it. Jump on land here before that goes quick. Yeah, I know. I was hoping that I could develop on my dad's property at some point, but unfortunately the zoning doesn't allow for it, so... My wife was like, what if we just built an ADU on their property and we did all the work and then eventually they just rent it out to make more money and then we can afford a house at that point. And I was like, that'd be great, but the zoning doesn't allow for it, so got screwed. I don't know how we're going to afford land. I'm actually really disappointed the timing didn't work out. My wife's dad ended up selling this awesome property with a cat boarding business on it. And we were still in school, so it wouldn't have made any sense. We couldn't have done anything, but we could have turned that into a Bernese Mountain Dog breeding facility instead of a cat lodge and made just as much money as they did doing something more enjoyable, and then have this amazing property where they had like a barn for horses and all this stuff. It would have been, dreams. There's an island around here for sale for only 500K. It's huge. Perfect away from all these people. That would do it. That would do it. Short of Mike Tyson talking about tigers and how you have to disrupt their staring because they start thinking about eating you. Yikes. If your pet has to ever thinks about eating you, I don't know. I don't know if I want that pet. I gotta be honest with you. Not my cup of tea. Hey. Like, I know for a fact my dog is never going to eat me, so I'm good. He'd starve before he touched my body if I died. Just a cat at the end of the day, you know. Raise them from little, they won't know the difference. Just gotta feed him ribeye steaks, yeah. Until he, like, is play fighting with you and he bites a little too hard and accidentally breaks your arm. There's just that, like, minor inconvenience of them. Other than that, though, they're great. The Tiger King, great example of how that can go. Although that guy was a moron, so that also is part of that. Maine Coon count, biggest I'll probably get in my life. So I will say this. I called you crazy for a Jaguar. That's on a different level. Or a Panther, sorry. I did want a serval cat. So the massive, they literally look like mini cheetahs. I wanted one of those for a really long time, and they're crazy, so it's too much cat, honestly. I just like dogs way so much better than cats. I grew up with cat, been around a lot of cats, and I've always just been happier with my dog. Every time. I don't know how I feel about that. Land with goats, chickens, maybe a Highland cow, and work dogs to keep everything in order. Dude, XYZ, we think alike, my friend. We do. My wife would kill for that. Just grabs your arm like tug of war. Sounds horrifying. You say that so nonchalantly, like... Wait, dang it. Hit undo. Okay. These are laid out like that. And just one block, yeah. That's good. Pet owl or raccoon? Raccoons, it's scary. They're not, but they are. Raccoons are kind of like weird cats, but... But they're also like psychopaths, so there's that. I had a bird for a while, so you know. Honestly, wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I don't hate that. Let's just do that. But there is a reason we no longer have the bird, so... They're just more difficult pets to take care of than most other animals. Friend has a naked bald cat. Dude, those, ugh. My uncle has, you know, the dogs that win like ugliest dog competitions? He has, his dog is one of those. It's disgusting. Now he rescued it, so I like can't hate on him too much, you know, but it's disgusting. It's such an ugly dog. Got like a couple hairs at the top. It's so wiry and disgusting. It's such a goofy dog. But yeah, the naked cats, I can't stand those either. My wife really wants a... Oh, what is it called? What kind of cat is it? Siamese, I think. Pretty chill cats. Not too bad, but... Pet wolves, cabin in the woods. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the dogs. But you do you, man. Your panther and wolf sanctuary is gonna be lit. It's gonna be the place to be. I'm sure it'll be fun. Just sounds horrifying. If I never hear from you, or if like one night you just disappear, I'll make sure to call the police and let them know that either your wolf or your panther may have killed you. If you were to even look at, it's literally a rat, yeah. Trash panda, but the fact that you have to call it a trash panda, like, is it that clean if you call it a trash panda? I know that's slightly just visual, but like the trash part comes from them eating trash, so you know they're gonna do it. I'm gonna start calling my son Trash Panda, dude. He keeps eating our dog food off the, like, if he finds a piece of dog food, he just picks it up and eats it. And I'm like, dude, kids are like the best, worst thing in the world. Like, I don't even know how to explain kids, but they're like the most incredibly worst thing you can ever do in your life. They're literally like sociopaths. Absolutely are. Randomly, this detail looks incredible. I did it completely on accident. Just because one layer is different at the top. Huh, interesting. Build a huge aviary for it. I built a catio, but our ungrateful little craps want to be outside. Yeah. My wife and I had ambitions at one point to have like multiple birds and stuff, but it didn't quite work out with our life. They're cool, they're just hard. You have to be all in with birds. You can't be like, can't just own birds. They are your life. They don't travel well. It can be really difficult. Who put a hole in my wall? Oh. I thought the hole was there. I was like, what is happening? They'll be best buds. Just a wolf and a panther. They'll be better buds than they will with you, I'm sure. Imagine someone trying to break in and see a panther and then turn around and there's a wolf next to him. Just insult to injury is what's happening there. You're just adding insult to injury. You're like, okay, back up. I don't know how to tell you this, but there's a panther in his living room. What are you talking about, Fred? Dude, there's a panther in his living room. Don't move. And then he turns around, and there's a wolf in the kitchen. What the hell did we come into? Sounds like a good time. And a pet sloth. Because the panther and the wolf weren't enough. You had to throw a pet sloth in there too. I mean, at that point, why not, right? Ranting, but one of those flying squirrels. That's the first normal pet you've said so far. So there's like flying squirrels, and then there's also the little tinier, the sugar gliders. Those are fine. That's an easy pet. Now you're more on my level. Although at the same time, I'm like, my wife and I want to own land with like, eventually I'm sure she'd want a horse, so Not like a horse is a pretty crazy pet at the end of the day as well, so. How to rescue another trash panda. Use trash pandas. Turns on flashlights to see lit eyes up, right? You just see them in the background though, like just the eyes, and you're like, what the hell is that? And you're expecting like a dog growl, and then you hear like the purr and growl of like a panther. Ugh, sounds horrifying. Remind me never go to Missouri. You hear about that guy? I used to have this guy in my chat. He disappeared one day. I don't know why. Dude, is it the same dude? Okay, it is a different person. Good. So annoying. Oh, she moved. Yes. Got it. Sugar gliders. You walk in the house and there's just 20 little sugar gliders smacking you in the face. Or there's 20 tufts of fur because the panther and the wolf ate all the sugar gliders. is really what's going to happen there for you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the only outcome I see there. Snaps on. It's like, what is happening? Still gotta get used to the building snapping in this game sometimes. Nope, still didn't get it. There we go. It's all even. Now I can put cool designs in these little spaces on this side as well, which feels good. Shit my pants seeing a panther's eyes at 3 a.m. pitch black inside. Right? And it's yours. That's the worst part. Is like, you asked for this. You brought your own demise to yourself. Why are these doing that? What am I missing? There's something missing there? Why is this? Huh. That's really weird. If you place those down separately, it holds the little upper detail. The next Tiger King, but flying demonic squirrels. Now, honestly though, like, that's a show I want to watch. The Squirrel King. That is, I can get on board with that, honestly. Alright, I'm just ruining it. Oh, I guess it's that way. You're like, why? I can't understand. It's holding the detail in some areas, but not everywhere. It's really weird. You had a pet fox? I don't know if I'm just built different or I'm just a basic Wisconsinite. I mean, that might be a Wisconsin thing. Or maybe just Midwest thing. Couldn't tell you. What did I build those out of? But, I mean, if I had unlimited money and resources, I would also own some ridiculous stuff, you know, at the end of the day. Like the movie Birds, but with squirrels. It's your life, you know. Welcome in, Lily Brown. Hope you're having a good night. And just so you know, I'm not just talking to myself. I'm also streaming on YouTube, so we have some other people chatting on the YouTube chat. I've had a couple of people go like, who are you talking to? They join on one platform and the other, and it seems like everyone's on YouTube tonight. Be more scared of a big python than a cat. I mean, you're more likely to get eaten by the snake. I will say that. You can't train a snake. You can train a cat. Can't train a snake. At least not to the same degree. I've always been amazed by, like, yeah, all the people that buy and keep poisonous snakes and stuff. I'm like, hey, you do you, man. You enjoy your life however you want, but the last thing I want is a bunch of venomous, like, insects and snakes. Say that 10 times fast, jeez. Think everything that wants to kill me? Like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. It's bad enough that I trip over my dog once a day and almost die. Don't listen to him. Other platforms, he's definitely talking to himself. Yeah, it's just me making those comments up and reading them. The fact that it works because I'm reading that from a different chat, so I mean, it's very possible that I'm just making it all up. You know, early on in content creation, you really got to be good at just BSing your way through talking. And when there's little voices in your head, it makes it so much easier. I am the darkness. Oh, there's one of them. He came over from YouTube. Looks pretty interesting game. What do you say? You should try it. 100%. First, it is PC only at the moment. They are releasing on to console at some point. There's no confirmed release date for when it's going to console, but they have mentioned that Enshrouded is coming to console at some point. If you have PC, I 100% recommend the game. It is extremely fun. It is very inexpensive for how well polished of a game it is in early access. If you like building, crafting, survival games, I've been calling it the adult Minecraft, because it uses blocks similar to Minecraft, but it is just the styling and combat and everything about it is just better. It's what I always wished Minecraft was, I think. And the fact that it's early access is insane. They've added so much content so far in a very short span of time. I think it was like $29, if I can see. On Steam, $29.99, and it has gone on sale quite a few times. I would highly suggest just throwing it on your wish list on Steam and waiting till they come out with another sale. It's gone on like a 20% sale multiple times. But yeah, so far I really, really enjoy the game. It's been a lot of fun, especially if you like building. Also recommend joining the Discord. Yes. Definitely. Do that. Hard pass, especially on the things that can hide. Yeah, true that. True that. Yeah, the graphics. And this is all early access, so it's like this is all vanilla building so far, every bit of this. And the combat is pretty enjoyable. It's not necessarily the best combat system I've ever played in my life, but it's adequate. And they've added some fun bosses. They've added some really fun areas. The map is This is where you spawn, and this is the whole map. It is absolutely massive. This area, I haven't even finished exploring. This was just the most recent update from right here, all the way up here. The last update was all of this. They've done other updates where they have like underground dungeons that are all over the map. There's like 4 or 5 of them. It's honestly, it's been done very well. It's really cool bosses. They were very enjoyable. The questing in story is a little haphazard. I wouldn't say it necessarily has a story. It just has an idea that kind of forces the decisions. And you're like this Flameborn, and you're trying to find other people and unlock them and release them, their characters. That's what all these NPCs that I have locked up in jail. So you have to go and like find and collect all these different NPCs to help build your furniture bases, and they all do different things. It's really good. It's very good. It's not expensive for me because I used Euro. There you go. But highly recommend it. I'm having a great time, especially if you like building. That is where it is really good, is the building aspects. I wonder. I really like the top of this block. I don't love the bottom of it as much, though. I don't know. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. And I like this one, but I don't like that it's not centered because of the voxel. That part kind of bugs me. But I can adjust that, I think. Just want to get rid of my pet. We just want to ride my pet elephant and feed my panthers. Is that too much to ask? I mean, you do you, boo-boo. I'm not going to stop you. That feels a bit better. I like getting the little border around here so you get a little bit more. Looks nice. With my squirrel on my shoulder. What other games do you play? Currently, this is all I'm really playing. I have played... The main game I was streaming before Enshrouded was Grounded. If you've never played Grounded, 1000% buy that game. That is one of my favorite games of all time. But unfortunately, they're no longer making content updates for it, and I've played for 3,000 plus hours building. If you enjoy build content, you should check out my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of crazy mega builds on Grounded as well. That's where I started making content. You ever played any Tekken games? Like, ages ago. I haven't played one in a really, really long time. I'm never very good at that type of game. Oh. Not my cup of tea. I'm more creative than anything. We have an emote. We build, not battle. I'm not much of a fighter in games. It's not my specialty. Not the worst at it, but I'm definitely not the best. Be worried with an elephant being smarter than me? I mean, that's just a given for me. My 2-year-old is smarter than me, so I'm already screwed. Really like Tekken 7. I've seen some gameplay of it. I haven't played it myself, though. But again, I'd probably be horrifically bad at it. It's like Elden Ring. I love the idea of Elden Ring. I don't have the skills to play Elden Ring and be good at it. It would be entertaining because I would just like bash my face against every single enemy endlessly, and I think content-wise, some people would find that extremely funny. 600 deaths in, they'd get bored, though, is the problem. Does Luda play this? He does. He's been super busy recently, but I got him set up with the resource world, and because he's more of a creative builder, he doesn't like survival as much. It's just not his thing. And so when I helped get him set up with the resource world, he started going ham. He's actually rebuilding the Shire, or I guess he's building Bag End currently, but I have a feeling it's going to turn into the whole Shire. He was also talking about making Barad-dûr and also everything. Like, I could see him exponentially building in this game forever and building all of Middle-earth. Just from scratch. I don't know much about fighting games. All I know, just mash the button. Hey, I mean, if you're good at it, I'd probably mash the buttons poorly would be the issue. Yeah, I don't hate that that's the block. Just me the center. Want to make a game where combat is good but avoidable for the passive players, but have building and exploring being the primary theme. Honestly, I've talked about it a little on stream, but I started very early on. One of my buddies is a developer and a computer science guy, and he was looking for some help with a deck builder tower defense game that he had thought of, and we started like developing this game together. And he had a kid, I had a kid, so we kind of like dropped it. But I had been talking to him the whole time we were like doing this process. I was like, if this turns out and like this becomes a thing, like I would find it so cool to build an amazing building game, like essentially build Enshrouded as a building game, but on a different level. And then making, like you said, some of the combat changes and stuff as well. That'd be incredible. Like, I love this game, but it's not procedurally... it's not, like, procedurally generated. Like, that is what I think I want in a game. I want Enshrouded's building in a procedurally generated world that works in the way like Minecraft, that can be endlessly updated, can be built on forever. You can add new materials, new textures, new build items endlessly. That's literally just go forever. And that would be the dream. What do you do as a passion, if you don't mind me asking? I would say this, like, I do a lot of different things. Anything creative, any creative endeavor is something I'm probably going to enjoy at the end of the day. But I do have a lot of passion for building and design. I have a degree in architecture, and that is a big driver in why I stream and mega build. So I would say that's a big passion of mine, but I also enjoy like mountain biking, skiing, golfing, any outdoor activity really at the end of the day. But when it comes to video games, my passion's building and design. That's where I like spending a lot of my free time. Like Grounded, I have 3,000 hours building in that game. Because it was just so fun. Yeah, Flying Squirrel Battle, Building Royale. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. How did it go from... Your perfect game would be exotic pet owner. You just get to buy and then raise. That's the whole game, is just buying and raising the most ridiculous pets you've ever seen. And sure, and then you get to lay out their enclosures and stuff. That's like the building design behind it. Used to watch Rust gameplay. I never played Rust. Watched a little bit on it, but never got into it. How is this off now? Dang it. Just started my career at designing artworks. Since my childhood, I love to draw, and now it's my passion. Nice. That's awesome. I've always been a designer of sorts. But my issue is I like doing and designing too many different things. I'm not very good at picking one thing and sticking with it. But I have really enjoyed streaming, so I would say this has been a passion of mine. I just wish I had more time to devote towards it every day. It also allows me to use all the skills that I learned in architecture school, like graphic design and all that, which is very fun. The fact that I know Photoshop and Illustrator, and I learned recording programs and modeling programs and all of that. Felt like a great fit doing some content creation, so we'll see where it goes. That would be so loud and take so long till it had a horde of normal squirrels and they were just running around a tree and it sounded like loud and scratchy. The nice thing, I guess, if you did sugar gliders, not the flying squirrels, that would be a little less horrible. But actual squirrels, yeah, they sound annoying. Although my wife followed someone on social media for a long time that owned a squirrel, and it tempted her to get a squirrel. Well, I wasn't going to let it happen. We didn't need a squirrel, but she thought about it. She definitely thought about it. Told her we couldn't have birds, squirrels, and dogs, and live with a cat. It just didn't work. No problem, Lily. Raid a base with all your best pets. Oh, jeez. The game mechanics are getting out of control now. I'm sure people would do it. If the devs of Call of the Wild made a pet game, that would work. Master Prestige Squirrel. Oh, God. Oh, man. You guys are silly. Well, if you don't mind, can you see my work? I mean, if you want to post it in the general chat on my Discord, feel free. If you join that. Alright, well, tonight we moved flame altars. I'm going to have to move this one over that half block. It's going to drive me insane that it's not perfectly lined up. Just, I can see it. Every time I look at the map, I notice that it's off one. I'm going to have to do that after stream. I guess I could just go do it, and then I'm going to call it a night. Let's just do it. Let's make sure it is half of a foundation, though, first. Like that you have these other pets, but you live with a cat. It wasn't, not anymore, at least. Our old roommate had a cat. Now, we don't. Thank goodness. It didn't work. It was not a good fit. It was horrible. Having a bird and living with a cat was miserable. Unless you have a big bird that's like can defend itself, and the cat doesn't want to mess with it because the birds are actually really mean if they want to be. We had a small sun conure, so it's like a really small parrot, and it wouldn't have been able to do anything. So I would have just resented my buddy and his cat for ages. I am seeing now why. Okay. Okay, well, maybe we'll get out of here. There we go. Big cat, black Maine Coon. He's a panther by heart. I mean, that's what you need, really. You have the panther. You just doesn't come in the panther's body, you know. What's that? Oh, is that what the upgrade? I didn't even notice. I literally never noticed that the upgraded altar looks different. Wow, oblivious. Had a good time chatting with everyone tonight. Cats and squirrels for the W? Yeah. Nah, it was a fun one. Man, we're so far off from the end build, though. That's the horrible part. So far off. Okay. So now that is done, we just have to fix that stuff, but look at that. That looks lined up now. It looks better. That looks good. Looks good. Looks good. I think we're good. Find the panther inside you instead of yourself in a panther. I would say that is the more desirable of the outcomes, for sure. Is that thing gonna go away? Love it. Alright. We did it. Is that thing gonna go? What the heck? Did I not disarm? Just do it? Deactivate words? Speech? I did not. Did I deactivate this one? No. There we go. What I feel like I pressed that like 6 times. Why did that not work so long? Ah, now we're good. We did it. Hooray. I also forgot I wanted to do this tonight. I've picked up all the stuff finally, and we beat the dragon the other night, so now we have a fully leveled flame altar, so now I don't freeze anymore. At least I think that's inside the altar, but maybe it's not. Maybe I don't freeze in the new mountain area as well. Hopefully. It's like so much more satisfying to look at now. This isn't quite actually this is centered. I've centered everything off of this, so actually that is correct. I might move it to the center of here at some point. I can't decide if I want this to be where I teleport into or if I want like a more central area in the plaza. Not sure. Wendell would approve? Yes. I'm building for him at the end of the day. Got a lot of work to do, but I gotta make this mountain somehow look like a mountain again. I terraformed so much. I got a lot of terraforming to do on that and raking. It'll be a good experiment to learn the rake on though, which will be really nice. It's gonna make it a lot bigger, but it's definitely turning out nice. The inside's coming along. Feels good to have the flame altars finally done. That project has been like looming over my head. Just like do it already. Stop being lazy and just do it. That motivation sometimes be lacking. Perfect. Have a look. I just DM'd you on Discord. Cool. Oh, you do digital art. Interesting. Very cool. I don't really have any need for digital art at this moment in time. I got all my emotes done, and that's all I really use, but who knows? Maybe somewhere in the future. But it definitely looks good. Good job. All right, Knight. Yeah, I just saw your DM's knife. I like it. Literally knife dragon. Love it. It's fun. Yeah, but all right, everyone. I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. I'm going to call it here. We're at a good spot. I should be back tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. A little earlier, hopefully, but it's not how my son's been rolling these days. So I'll be on as early as I can, and then I will probably be off. I'll be off Friday, and then I'll be off all of Christmas week, most likely. Unless something happens, I might stream Christmas week later in the week, potentially, but I'm going to be gone Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday. So I appreciate everyone hanging out for the night. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.